Hi everyone, this is Korean Danny. Today I'm stepping into one of the most exciting parts of Filipino culture, street food. If you've ever walked through a busy street in Manila, Cebu, or Davao, you'll notice that food isn't just something people eat quickly on the go, it's a way of life, a social gathering, and a cultural identity. In the Philippines, street food stalls line up outside schools, markets, and busy corners. The smell of frying oil, grilled skewers, and sweet caramel fills the air, instantly pulling you in. For locals, these foods are part of their everyday routine. But for someone like me, it's an adventure that reveals a new side of the country. Today, I'll be trying three of the most iconic Filipino street foods: banana Q, the sweet caramelized banana snack balut, the famous fertilized duck egg that has become a cultural icon, and ihaw-ihaw, the smoky, grilled skewers that define Filipino evenings. Each one of these foods has a story, and I want to share not only the flavors, but also the meaning behind them. By the end of this journey, I hope you'll see that Filipino street food is more than just something to fill your stomach. It's history, tradition, and community served on a stick or in a cup. So let's begin this adventure together. When you think of street food in the Philippines, it's impossible not to picture the lively atmosphere that surrounds it. From the narrow alleyways of Manila to the coastal streets of Cebu and the vibrant markets of Davao, food stalls are everywhere. They are not just places to grab a quick bite. They are social hubs, where people gather, laugh, and share stories over simple but flavorful dishes. Street food in the Philippines has a long history tied to community life. After school, students line up to grab a stick of fish balls or banana Q. Office workers stop by, Ihaw-ihaw stalls for skewers, and a cold drink before heading home. Families walk together at night markets, choosing from a mix of sweet, savory, and sometimes adventurous options. The culture is built on accessibility: food that is affordable, filling, and full of flavor, available to anyone at any time. What makes Filipino street food unique is how it reflects the country's resourcefulness and diversity. Nothing goes to waste. Chicken intestines become isaw, pork ears turn into skewers, and even fertilized duck eggs transform into the legendary baluti. This creativity shows how food is not only about taste, but also about tradition and survival. At the same time, the stalls themselves are symbols of resilience. Many vendors have been selling the same recipes for decades, passing down skills from one generation to another. Eating at a street stall is not just about the food. It's about connecting with the people who prepare it, often with a smile and a quick chat while they cook. For a foreigner like me, stepping into this environment is more than just tasting something new. It's a cultural immersion, smelling the charcoal smoke, hearing the sizzling oil, and feeling the vibrant energy of people enjoying food together. In the Philippines, street food is not just a snack. It's a celebration of community, creativity, and everyday life. The first street food I want to dive into is one of the most beloved snacks in the Philippines: banana Q. If you've never heard of it, don't worry. It's simple, humble, and yet unforgettable. At its core, banana Q is just saba, bananas. These are short, thick Filipino bananas that are starchier and firmer than the sweet bananas. Most people are used to they're deep-fried in hot oil, coated in caramelized brown sugar, and then served on a wooden stick, almost like a banana lollipop. What makes banana Q so special is how it combines texture, sweetness, and nostalgia. As the bananas fry, the sugar melts and sticks to the surface, forming a golden brown crust that's both crunchy and sticky. When you take that first bite, you get a caramel crackle followed by the warm, soft, almost creamy texture of the banana inside. It's the perfect balance of crisp outside and tender inside. But banana Q isn't just about taste, it's about memory and routine. For many Filipinos, it's the after-school snack they grew up with, waiting in line with classmates at a corner stall. It's what workers grab in the afternoon when they need a quick boost of energy. And because it's cheap and filling, it has become part of the daily rhythm of life. Eating one isn't just snacking, it's stepping into a shared cultural experience. Watching it being made is part of the joy. Vendors toss the saba bananas into a large wok of sizzling oil, add handfuls of brown sugar, and stir until the bananas are fully coated. Then they pull them out, still hot, and slide 2 or 3 onto a stick. You're handed this sweet, steaming snack that you can eat on the go. No fancy plating, no pretension, just honest street food served fresh and fast. For me, as a Korean experiencing banana Q for the first time, the closest comparison might be candied sweet potatoes, which we eat in winter markets back home. But the banana Q is lighter, softer, and somehow more addictive. The caramel sticks to your fingers, the banana melts in your mouth, and before you realize it, you're reaching for another stick. What stands out the most is how banana Q captures the essence of Filipino street food. Simple ingredients, cooked with heart, creating something that feels bigger than it is. It's not just a banana. It's a reminder of childhood, a taste of community, and a comfort food that connects generations. If this is the starting point of my street food journey, I can already see why Filipinos are so proud of their culinary culture. Now we move on to what is probably the most famous and most controversial Filipino street food, balut. For those who don't know, balut is a fertilized duck, egg that's been incubated for about 2 to 3 weeks, before being boiled and eaten directly from the shell. For locals, it's a beloved snack, packed with protein and believed to be full of health benefits. For foreigners like me, it can be intimidating at first sight. The first thing that strikes you when you're handed a balut is its warmth. Vendors usually keep the eggs hot in baskets or coolers wrapped in cloth. You crack it open at the top, sprinkle in some salt or vinegar, and sip the flavorful broth inside. That broth is surprisingly rich. It tastes like a light chicken soup with a natural savory depth. Next comes the yolk, which is creamy, dense, and filling. Some say it's the best part of the balut because it's hearty and comforting. Then, of course, there's the part that makes many visitors hesitate: the developing duck embryo. Depending on the incubation period, you may see feathers or small bones beginning to form. To Filipinos, this is the most nutritious part, rich in protein and minerals. To a newcomer, it's a test of courage and open-mindedness. Taking that first bite is a true cultural experience. I won't lie, the texture can be challenging if you're not used to it. There's a mix of softness and chewiness, combined with a flavor that's earthy and slightly gamey. But once you get past the mental barrier, you begin to understand why balut has been enjoyed for generations. It's not about shock value, it's about tradition, nutrition, and identity. For many Filipinos, balut is tied to late-night gatherings, roadside snacks, and even myths of boosting strength and vitality. It's often sold in the evening, when vendors walk the streets, calling out balut in a familiar chant. Friends will gather, crack open eggs, add vinegar or chili, and enjoy them with conversation. Eating balut isn't just eating, it's participating in a social ritual. From my perspective as a Korean, the experience reminded me of how certain foods in every culture can seem unusual to outsiders. In Korea, for example, we have dishes like sanakji live octopus that can shock foreigners. Balut plays a similar role in the Philippines. It challenges the boundaries of what food should be, and in doing so, it becomes a symbol of cultural pride. My first time trying balut was definitely a challenge. I hesitated, I stared at it, and I questioned myself. But once I took a deep breath and went for it, I realized it wasn't nearly as scary as I imagined. The broth was delicious, the yolk was satisfying, and even the embryo, while strange at first, carried a unique flavor that I'd never tasted before. Balut taught me that food is not just about flavor. It's about openness, respect, and courage. When you try balut, you're not only tasting an egg, you're tasting centuries of Filipino tradition, resilience, and identity. And once you accept it, you feel a deeper connection to the culture itself.